You think you know Rolex? That gleaming watch on your wrist, or the one you've been dreaming about. You probably associate it with luxury, status, and timeless design. And you're not wrong. But what if I told you that beneath that polished surface lies a world of high-tech alchemy, a secret lab of materials science that puts many aerospace companies to shame? Today we're not just looking at watches. We're cracking open the Rolex vault to uncover the futuristic materials that make these timepieces virtually indestructible and unbelievably precise. Forget what you think you know. We're going on a journey from raw, humble elements to the pinnacle of horological engineering. Let's start with the very foundation of a modern Rolex: the case. You might hear the term stainless steel and think, okay, big deal, but Rolex doesn't use just any steel. They use oyster steel. What is that exactly? Oyster steel belongs to the 904L steel family, a superalloy typically reserved for the aerospace and high-tech chemical industries. Your standard luxury watch? Most likely made from 316L steel. It's good, but it's not 904L. The key difference is the higher content of chromium and molybdenum in oyster steel. This gives it an exceptional resistance to corrosion, especially from things like salt water and sweat, which can be surprisingly aggressive over time. This is why a vintage Rolex can be pulled from the ocean after decades and still look stunning. But the real magic happens in Rolex's own in-house foundry. Yes, you heard that right. Rolex is one of the very few watchmakers that operates its own foundry, allowing them to control the entire production process of their steel. They melt, cast, and forge the raw materials themselves, ensuring every single block of oyster steel meets their ridiculously high standards. When polished, oyster steel achieves a unique, brilliant sheen that's instantly recognizable. It's tougher, more corrosion-resistant, and holds a polish like nothing else. So next time you see that unmistakable Rolex gleam, know that you're looking at a piece of industrial-grade superalloy, refined to the level of fine jewelry. Now, let's talk color and durability, specifically on the bezel. For years, watch bezels, especially on dive and GMT models, were a weak point. They were often made of aluminum, which looked great at first, but was prone to scratching and fading over time. A beloved watch could start to look worn out, its vibrant colors turning pale from sun exposure. Rolex saw this as an unacceptable compromise. Their solution? A material they developed and patented called cerachrom. The name itself gives you a clue. Cera from ceramic, and chrom from the Greek word for color. Cerachrom is an extremely hard, virtually scratch-proof ceramic. You could take a key to a cerachrom bezel and it wouldn't leave a mark. It's also completely immune to the bleaching effects of ultraviolet rays. A red and blue Pepsi bezel made from cerachrom will look just as vibrant in 50 years as it does the day it leaves the factory. But creating it is an engineering marvel. Making a two-tone bezel, like the iconic Pepsi or the Batman blue and black, was considered impossible with ceramic for a long time. Rolex's engineers figured it out. They developed a proprietary process where a single piece of ceramic is infused with two different colors. The transition between the colors is perfectly sharp, a feat of chemical and material engineering. Then, the numerals and graduations are engraved and coated with a thin layer of platinum or gold using a PVD process. Cerachrom isn't just a component, it's a statement. It's Rolex's commitment to creating a watch that defies time, not just in its telling, but in its very appearance. Let's move from the outside in to the heart of the watch, the movement. Here, another invisible enemy lurks: magnetism. Everyday magnetic fields from our phones, laptops, and speakers can wreak havoc on a mechanical watch's accuracy. The key component affected is the hairspring, an incredibly fine, coiled spring that regulates the oscillation of the balance wheel. A magnetized hairspring will cause a watch to run erratically fast. Traditional hairsprings were made of metal alloys that were susceptible to this. Rolex's answer is the parachrom hairspring. Introduced in the year 2000, the parachrom hairspring is made from a proprietary alloy of niobium and zirconium. This unique composition makes it completely insensitive to magnetic fields. It's also up to 10 times more resistant to shocks than a traditional hairspring. Think about that. The delicate beating heart of the watch is now a fortress against the two biggest threats to its precision. But Rolex didn't stop there. They later perfected it with the blue parachrom hairspring. The blue color isn't just for looks. It's the result of a surface treatment that further enhances the spring's long-term stability and precision. It's a nod to the historical tradition of bluing steel for both beauty and rust prevention, but executed with 21st century technology. When you buy a modern Rolex, you're getting a movement that's shielded by an invisible force field of advanced metallurgy. Of course, we can't talk about Rolex materials without mentioning gold. But again, this isn't just any gold. Rolex operates its own exclusive foundry, one of the largest in Switzerland, where they create their own 18-karat gold alloys. By controlling the entire process, they can guarantee not only the purity but also the specific properties and color of their gold. They have 3 signature alloys. There's yellow gold, of course, but then there's Everose gold. This is Rolex's patented 18-karat pink gold alloy. Standard pink gold can fade over time as it's exposed to the elements, particularly chlorine. Rolex's metallurgists solve this by adding a specific amount of platinum into the mix. This locks in the warm pink hue, ensuring the color is permanent. That's why it's called *ever*rose, it's forever. Then there's their white gold, which is mixed with palladium to give it a noble, brilliant white luster that doesn't require the rhodium plating often used on other white gold jewelry. It's solid, pure, and its color is true all the way through. This level of vertical integration is unheard of. From melting the raw elements to casting the ingots and finally forming the watch cases and bracelets, Rolex ensures every gram of gold is perfect. Let's not forget the crystal that protects the dial. For decades, watch crystals were made of acrylic, which scratched easily. Today, nearly all Rolex watches use a synthetic sapphire crystal. On the Mohs scale of hardness, sapphire is a 9, second only to diamond at 10. This means it is exceptionally scratch-resistant. You'd be hard-pressed to scratch a Rolex crystal in your daily life. But Rolex adds another layer of innovation: the Cyclops lens. That little magnifying bubble over the date window is also made of sapphire and is fused to the main crystal. It's a signature Rolex feature that makes the date instantly legible, and it's a testament to their focus on functional design. The manufacturing process for these synthetic sapphires is incredibly precise, ensuring perfect clarity and strength. Finally, let's look at something you might not even see: the lubricants. Inside a mechanical watch, hundreds of tiny parts are constantly in motion, rubbing against each other. Without proper lubrication, friction would quickly wear them down and destroy the movement's accuracy. Rolex doesn't just buy lubricants off the shelf. They develop and produce their own exclusive oils and greases in-house. Their R&D department has dedicated specialists who formulate different types of lubricants for different parts of the watch. Some oils need to be incredibly thin and fluid for high-speed components, while others need to be thicker and more viscous for high-pressure gears. These synthetic lubricants are designed for extreme longevity, which is why a Rolex can go for a decade between recommended services. It's a microscopic, invisible world of chemical engineering that is absolutely crucial to the watch's performance and lifespan. So from the 904 oyster steel forged in their own foundry, to the scratch-proof and fade-proof Cerachrom bezels, the magnetism-defying Parachrom hairsprings, the everlasting Everose gold, and the custom-formulated lubricants, a Rolex is so much more than a watch. It's a symphony of material science and cutting-edge engineering. Each element is the result of decades of research and a relentless pursuit of perfection. The brand's legendary durability and precision aren't just marketing slogans. They are the tangible results of a deep, obsessive control over the very atoms that make up the timepiece. The next time you see a Rolex, look closer. See beyond the crown logo and the classic design. You're looking at a masterpiece of modern alchemy, a device where raw materials are transformed into something that truly stands the test of time. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive into the secret world of Rolex materials. If you found this as fascinating as I do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more horological explorations. Let me know in the comments which Rolex material impresses you the most. See you in the next one.